we have received an SMS from Brian Eno that due to a total emergency, he is not able to do his manifesto. However, he has written a text, which is actually, for him, a very important text. It's the launch of a new party, which is the Thank You Party. And we are going to now read parts of his manifesto, and we'll have then the full manifesto of Brian online. And we'll have him soon here in our next event present the manifesto and present his new movement, his new party in person. We'll read this manifesto. It's an improvisation together with Shumon Bazar, whom you've met already earlier as one of the key protagonists of both the Brutally Early Club and also the Hyper Early Club. Shumon was also one of the pioneers actually of the marathon, because he actually was there at the very beginning in the Rem Koolhaas interview marathon with Marcus Meeson and Abake and many others. He's a London-based writer, editor, curator, as well as educator. Some of his books I'd like to mention: Did Someone Say Participate, as well as The World of Madelon Friesendorp, an extraordinary book, the first big book on Madelon's work. And Shumon is at the moment working on his first novel. The Thank You Party. That's the text of Brian Eno's manifesto. And this is past pro toto, right? It's just fragments, and the text is very long, and you can then find it from tomorrow onwards on our website, where you will also have the blog, where you then can read about all the manifestos you might have missed, or reread or revisit all the manifestos you've visited this weekend. The Thank You Party. We work from the principle that the world can be changed for the better, and we will use a specific procedure by which to achieve this. Instead of looking for what is wrong and trying to fix it, we want to look for what is right and try to encourage it. This is why we are calling ourselves the Thank You Party. Our intention is to celebrate and be grateful for those people and activities that produce greater happiness and less cruelty. We start from a biological premise. It's obvious that pain evolved to warn us away from dangerous behavior. What is less obvious is that pleasure evolved to encourage us to pursue favorable behavior. We take pleasure in sweetness because it indicates ripeness, a maximum nutritional value. We take pleasure in the beauty of human form because it indicates health and reproductive fitness. We take pleasure in social approval because it confirms our secure membership in the social group. Most forms of politics make use of the pain aspect. Law is primarily a system of prohibitions to make people behave to standards the society approves by punishing them when they fail to meet those standards. We think, however, that an equally or even more successful approach would be to turn our attention away from prohibiting certain things and towards celebrating and rewarding others. The Thank You Party evolved out of an earlier predecessor, the Honor and Shame Party. In social groups of a size where everybody is somewhat acquainted with everybody else, honor and shame, rather than law, are the fundamental constraints on behavior. In such groups, and because humans are acutely social creatures, shame is the primary prohibitive restraint. People avoid certain forms of action because they do not want to be thought badly of by their neighbors. By the same token, honor becomes the primary driver of good behavior. Good behavior is rewarded by social approval and higher social status.
And to give you a good taster, we're going to fast forward towards the latter part of Brian's manifesto, where he says, "In this recipe, we see all the gifts needed for a working cooperative society. The formation of government will be done in the same way that modern football teams are formed. We'll scout the best talent and offer transfer fees. We won't restrict our choices to party members or even to people of the same nationality. The TP is a tax and spend party. We intend to tax quite heavily and then to make large rewards as thank yous for good behavior. We will not pursue tax evaders in the courts, but we will publish their names and the amounts that they have paid in tax. It will be instructive for people to know, for example, that Britain's 54 billionaires paid a total of under £15 million in taxes last year, and half of that amount was paid by just one of them. So, the richest people in the country are paying tax at a tiny fraction of the rate than the rest of us are. Our tax plans include a radical idea, which is that the citizen be entitled to nominate which ministries and projects her taxes should support. When you begin paying taxes, you nominate 2% of your tax in this way. Each year you pay taxes, the percentage increases. After 20 years, for example, you might be controlling the destination of 30% of your taxes. We think that this new approach to taxation would have several benefits. Firstly, citizens would feel that they had some real interest in where their taxes were going. Secondly, ministries would have to justify their demands for tax money on the basis of their performance. This would mean that they have to explain themselves to the public. Thirdly, we anticipate a gradually increasing sense of responsibility on the part of citizens as more and more of their tax share becomes directable. We think that on this basis, people would be much happier to pay taxes, and that even the very richest might dip into their pockets. The Thank You Party would like to thank you for your kind attention.
We would like to thank the Thank You Party. Thank you, thank you. Many thanks to Brian Eno. Many thanks to Schumann.
Thank you.